name is Megan. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a complete makeover on this fireplace and the mantle. As you can see, it is tiled with this really old, crackly, sort of yellow tile, huge, thick grout lines, like 1 inch thick, very old, very dirty. I have tried cleaning this to no avail. I'm not really sure if this is the original tile for the home. Our home was built in 1903. If you know anything about that era and the types of materials they were using on fireplaces and have any information for me of whether or not this is original, I would love to know. Please leave a comment below. If you don't already follow me on Instagram, please make sure you do that. I update my stories daily with whatever project I'm working on in real time. And with that, let's get started. So here I am just removing my fireplace guard and any decor I have on the mantle. I'm also uninstalling my ventless gas insert. I spoke to my local chimney sweeper on the safety of doing everything I'm doing in this video, but if you're unsure, I would definitely seek out the advice of a professional, especially if you are planning to burn an actual fire in your fireplace. You want to make sure you're using all of the right materials and that you're doing it safely. I'm also just vacuuming and removing any debris I have inside of the fireplace. Previously, I already washed it down with soap and water. I'm using some leftover paper to tape off around the fireplace just to prevent any overspray from the ceramic coating. I'm also taping off the pipes that lead to my gas line just because I don't want to paint those as well. I'm using this Rust-Oleum high heat ceramic coating for the inside of the fireplace here. This goes up to 2000 degrees, it says. It is a flat matte black, and I'll tell you what, it is super matte, super high VOC. You have to wear a respirator to apply this. I also had all of my windows open and the room completely closed off so that it wasn't like spreading to the rest of the house. But I will say the smell dissipated really, really quickly. Pretty much as soon as the paint was dry, within an hour, I could no longer smell the fumes from it. Okay, so it's been about 24 hours since I did that. You don't need to wait 24 hours before you continue to paint or paint around or recoat. I think the dry time on this is like 1 to 2 hours, and then you also need to allow some time to cure. I would wait at least 2 or 3 days before I lit a fire in something like this and make sure that it is fully cured. The reason I did not paint this Rust-Oleum high heat paint on the outside tile of my fireplace is because I got a flat finish, which I think is really great for the inside. I want it to look really flat and matte in there. I don't want any gloss, but I don't want that on the outside. And once this has dried and I'm touching it, it's like very matte. It feels like newspaper. So I know that I made the right choice. For the outside tile, I am gonna prime it. I'm gonna use the Sticks waterborne primer here. I did my research. Apparently this stuff is the best to use on tile or glass. It bonds really well. Not so great for wood because it does not hide stains or knots. But I'm really excited to try this because I have a couple of other places in my house, including my kitchen tile backsplash. I plan to replace it at some point, but in the meantime, I'm thinking about painting it. And apparently this is like the stuff for tile. So like tile floors, tile backsplash, tile fireplace. So I'm gonna see how this works. Because I have these huge, large, giant, deep, awful grout lines on this tile, I did use a brush to apply it all over. You can use a roller if you want, but I found that this primer has amazing leveling. Like, it did not leave any brush marks. I was amazed. So this primer needs to cure for at least 24 hours. I've actually waited quite a few days, just life. In the meantime, I ran to Benjamin Moore to get my top coat. I got the Regal Select in a pearl finish, which is the same as satin. In case you were unaware, they're the same, satin and pearl. I wanted something that would have a little bit of sheen so that it would be easy to clean because it will collect dust, but I did not want it to be glossy at all. So I felt like this was the best choice because it has just a little bit of sheen, enough for me to be able to clean it and get the dust off without it looking glossy. I got it in the color black. It's just their standard black that they have. They have a lot of blacks, but this is like their true standard black. I took a sample of the Rust-Oleum spray paint that I sprayed on the inside of the fireplace into Benjamin Moore, had them color match it, and it color matched to something kind of gray. I think it was either Midnight Oil or Onyx. It was Onyx. It was like right in between Midnight Oil and Onyx. It looked a little gray to me. I don't want this to look gray. I want it to look black. I don't want it to be too black. I compared the swatch of Tricorn Black from Sherwin-Williams with Benjamin Moore's plain black, and they are identical. A lot of people use Tricorn Black on their mantles, on, you know, throughout their home for whatever they're painting black. So I think this will look very similar. Anyway, I'm gonna get started. Now, because the Benjamin Moore Regal Select does not self-level the same as the primer does, I really want to have a smooth finish on this. I did do a paintbrush in the grout lines, and I am using a roller for the actual face of the tile. Remember to always remove your painter's tape while the paint is still wet. Otherwise, you will have major issues removing it, and it won't work out the way that you think it will. Well, I did not expect this to happen, but I am not crazy about the black. I made this choice early on because I have some black chairs in the dining room. I thought a black accent would be really nice, would be kind of classy. And now that it's here and I've had like a couple days to mull over it, I really don't like it. I'm going to paint over it now. I'm using the same type of paint, so I don't need to prime it. It's still the Benjamin Moore Regal. It's in a pearl finish. It's just a different color. It is White Dove, which is actually what is on the walls in here, and all of the trim needs to be painted and freshened up in here anyway. So I think this is the right direction for this room. And I'm thinking maybe I will do a black moment on my fireplace in my living room. I just don't think this is the room for it. So here we go. I know that nobody probably wants to see me paint this fireplace twice, but I am always trying to keep it real here, and sometimes projects don't go as planned. Sometimes you have to pivot. When I was removing my painter's tape from around the fireplace, I accidentally removed some old paint, which was fine. It gave me an opportunity to just smooth any little chips that were in the mantle. I want to freshen this up, and I want the color to match the tile perfectly. So the whole mantle needs to be painted as well. And I'm using the same paint for this. It is the Benjamin Moore Regal Select in White Dove with a pearl finish. I'm rolling it where I can, but there's a lot of detailed areas that I have to use a brush to get in to paint those areas. And then I'm also caulking just some gaps that I had around the base of the mantle, as well as between the mantle and the tile. And this is completely fine to do because these are also areas that will not be exposed to any heat.
I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone.
This before and after is honestly one of the most dramatic ones I've ever experienced. I just love the finished look. The before was so ugly. I can't believe I was living with it for as long as I was. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.